in New Zealand, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us for our weekend weather update and the outlook for next week. And look at all the wind at the moment on the animated wind map. At the moment, it is jumping up and around New Zealand. It's like we're this giant roundabout in the sky and the wind is just sort of going all the way around us. But if you've seen those little roundabouts, you know, the ones that some cars ignore and they just drive straight over the top of them? Well, that's what's coming in this weekend. The wind will just go straight over the top of New Zealand, and we have that sort of spring-like westerly change coming our way. But a short-lived cold snap is also in the forecast. And I do mean short-lived, 12 hours or less. Starts Friday evening, and by lunchtime Saturday, it's already starting to clear away. So this low you see out to the east is the one that's over us right now. It deepens though on Saturday when it moves out over the Pacific Ocean, and as it deepens, that encourages southerlies and showers and the colder weather to continue along the eastern side of the North Island. But it improves elsewhere, even if it is a little bit windy. Saturday afternoon actually looks warmer than average in a number of places. So things warm back up again into the afternoon, with the exception here of the eastern side. Most other places do warm up. There's a westerly change coming in for the lower South Island. Now, with all this wind blowing around, we've got some really big waves still. So dangerous marine conditions all down that western side of New Zealand, but in particular, the far north, 90 Mile Beach, really dangerous conditions there, 6-7 metre waves. And I have to say, out at sea, just off Sydney's coastline yesterday, they had a 13 metre wave, all due to this system. Now it is falling apart. This is Sunday, so it really has fallen apart. And as the low deepens out on the other side, that's where you get into that 10+ metre wave situation. Still a bit dangerous here, 4 or 5 metre waves coming through, so not the best. And when you see the blue, while that is calmer, you do have the wind to deal with. So here is lunchtime Sunday, and you see what I mean. Windy westerlies blowing on through. That's sort of what I meant by those little roundabouts where the cars just drive straight over the top. So that's what you see here. In come those windy westerlies. Rain on the west coast comes back. There is a cold change again in the lower South Island. It does turn wintry for a time on Sunday afternoon. And in fact, next week, we've got a lot of westerly winds. Get used to seeing all these isobars like this. Showers coming through on Monday, sou'westers for some areas. It'll be a little more westerly for others. And the general theme, if you're in the east or northeast, like Bay of Plenty, around the eastern side of the North Island, Nelson Marlborough, Canterbury, Otago, those areas are leaning towards being mostly dry. But as you see, right through next week, high pressure building out of Australia that encourages the westerly winds down here, which curve up as sou'westers. So that's what I mean. It's westerly 1 minute, sou'westers the next. And our final map for Wednesday really shows you what is happening next week with the high pressure coming out of Aussie. And when it does that, that puts the cap on how far those southerlies can go. But it also shows you wintry southerlies coming up and into the South Island. So a very easy way of measuring temperatures when we've got westerlies is pretty simple. North is warmer than the south. So you'll find up here, the isobars, they'll be coming out of Australia, and the further south you go, they'll be coming more and more out of the Southern Ocean. So the Bay of Islands next week, Gisborne and Hawke's Bay, pushing up temperatures around 16, 17, 18, 19 degrees. We might even hit 20. But the further south you go, Southland, Otago in particular, you might have highs, a number of days in the single digits or the very low double digits. So it's all about where you are next week. North is warmer, south is cooler. And everyone gets windy weather at some point. That's all from me. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.